Hello and welcome. My name is Tom.
And I'm Heather.
And you're sitting at the Lego table.
You threw me off. Oh my God. The Couples Table is a live stream podcast here on the channel. Join us for better or worse.
For richer or poorer.
In sickness and in health.
Whether we have brick separators or not.
Dun, 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 dun. Sorry, this is probably really loud. Because I decided to try to do this right as the countdown went on.
You know what Heather did right as the stream was starting? Are you going to dump that in there?
I want to dump this. Hold on.
Okay.
1 second. Okay, hold on. Ready? Oh, that's
Oh, you got
too
tires
small.
in there. I think you have some pieces. Get some.
Oh.
You got your rims. Well, Heather clicked together her first Lego bricks
Yeah.
today.
I mean, I think I've done it before.
I mean, I feel like in life you have to have.
In life, yeah.
Your first ones that you owned.
Yeah, I haven't
Yeah?
had any.
All right.
All right, we're gonna put it away. I will continue this later.
Heather's working on a project that involves. It's not a specific set. It's just like the mismatch of Lego. So
Anyway,
Lego my egos. We got Chip here. What up, Chip?
what up, Chip?
He has no photography. Volt is here, checking in on the humans. Gil is here. Audio Hotline is here.
Hello.
Call Me Cubs is here. Kathy. Matt is stuck at home with us because his tire's in the shot. Matt and Kat. Kat is excited for Legos. We got Jeremy, the eCam instructor. Oh, look at this. In the pews. School year's over. Can finally join in live.
Oh, wonderful.
Nice. We got Jay. Jeremy said he watched last week's anniversary episode with the wife, and she almost cried during the ceremony outside the theater.
That's cute.
And we also got Dave Den. What up, Dave?
What's up?
Hello. And that's what we are doing
That's what
today.
we got today.
And there's something I just need to pop up over here, so I'll let you say hi to everyone.
Hi, everybody. Today is Friday. It is May 24th. It's May 24th.
What are we talking about today?
Okay, today we are going to continue the conversation about it was small business creators. We changed the name to professional independent creators, and then we're changing the name to something that does not already have any kind of
TBD.
So right now we're just calling it Name TBD. That's honestly what should it be.
Name TBD.
Name TBD. It should just be Name TBD. But anyway, a few weeks ago, Tom and I put out a video. This was like inspired by a talk that we went to at NEB, where basically we were inspired to identify this thing that is missing from the creator space, which is basically some kind of thing that caters and supports a creator middle class, but goes deeper than that, where it's not just there's more to it than just
Right.
being a creator middle class. We've identified this in the past couple weeks. And then today what we wanted to do is actually show examples of who we think fits this description. So I think when people say the creator middle class, we can all think of, okay, there's people who are, there's creators who are new to YouTube or consider YouTube to be like a hobby thing, which is awesome. Like if you're just starting out, great. If you're doing YouTube purely just for fun, awesome. Nothing wrong with that. And then on the other side of the spectrum, you have the Mr. Beast, the huge TV station sized channels that are just production studios at the end of the day, which is awesome. I think of, so I don't watch Mr. Beast, but someone I can think of that I do watch is Zach King, who is awesome. And, has sound stages and has worked with like Steven Spielberg and, it's just a completely different level, which is awesome. We wanted to identify a middle class. It kind of starts there. So you are using your YouTube channel to generate income, whether it's a part-time or full-time, like Tom and I. But then there's other things that also differentiate this, because I feel like a lot of people would fit that group, but it's like we've dialed it in even more.
Yeah, we talked about like, like a minimum amount of income that you're earning, whether or not it's full-time, part-time, those kinds of qualifications that just make it something that's not happening by accident, something that isn't just the casual hobby. Casual hobby, totally fine. But again, we're trying to sort of like hone in on this one specific group and those sorts of things. We talked about that 2 weeks ago, maybe.
Yeah.
In a whole episode. And so today I wanted to share the examples of that.
Yeah.
Or, well, not the examples. Some examples that we think fit.
Yeah. We haven't talked to these people or anything.
Yeah.
But
So, yeah.
I think like to continue the conversation that seems to be resonating based on the feed that we've been getting, we wanted to kind of show like this is an example of the person that we're talking about.
Yeah, because we've talked about it, but it's like sometimes it's helpful to see, well, what the heck do you even mean? Like it's nice to have a visual example a lot.
Yeah.
So before we do that, though, let's check in with everyone. We've got Top of the Morning Podcast.
Hi.
Haven't seen in a while. Long time no see. We've got Don, Tech I Hound. Howdy.
Hello.
And Matt says, my grandkids are playing with my old Legos. I wish tech lasts as long as Legos. Did you know that every Lego ever made can connect with every other Lego ever made? I mean, maybe that's not the best way to phrase it, but if you get this set that you just bought 3 days ago and you had like one of the original Legos from, I don't know, 70 years ago or whatever, they will click together.
There you go.
That is pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
It's the opposite of planned obsolescence. So we're going to dive into this list. The reason I'm talking so much is because a lot of I kind of went through my subscription feed, basically, my subscription box. And some of these are channels that both of us are subscribed to, but some of them are just mine. And so that's kind of the first disclaimer is that, one, these are just sort of channels I know of. It's not an exhaustive list of, I don't know how many YouTube channels there are. It's not all of those. It's the ones I'm subscribed to. We haven't we've talked to a couple people sort of briefly about this, but we haven't like specifically asked anyone on this list, is it okay to put, like, this is totally just our hodgepodge showcase.
Yeah.
So that could mean people are on this list who would not agree that they should be on it or not want to be on it.
Exactly.
And hopefully you can kind of tell the vibe that we're going for, even if maybe like that person themselves would call themselves something different, basically.
Yeah.
So we're not trying to put any label on anyone that doesn't want a label or anything along those lines. We're just trying to showcase, I figured there's a lot, so I don't know. I pulled up more than we'll hopefully need. Yeah. It's not every channel, so like, please. It's not in any order of like favoritist channel to least favoritist channel. Yeah. It's just, I know favoritist isn't a word, but it's just like here's sort of like a variety. Yeah. That I pulled together. Some people I know in real life, some people have never met.
Can I ask you a question before we get started?
No.
Why do you think this is important?
I mean, this is a great question. Because everyone's going to have that question, right?
What do you try to do, Tom?
I'm not trying to do anything. I'm trying to run my YouTube channel. But the thing is, me running my YouTube channel can feel kind of lonely and strange. And luckily we have each other and we can talk to each other. But even we run our channels totally differently. And we've always kind of known that. And we've, you and I in our own ways have joined creator groups and Discords and chats and masterminds and all this stuff over the years to try to sort of, I don't know, to just sort of connect in some way. And nothing is really, for the most part, hit, except when we were at NAB. And we got to hang out with a whole bunch of people who were all... The thing that we had in common was a passion for it and a history, doing it for a pretty substantial amount of time. And we had all sort of like had our own approach to it. Some of which was necessary because there's so many different personalities and interests in things. And we were really realizing is like, wow, we've all reinvented the wheel,
in our own
5
way.
different times now.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, wouldn't it have been kind of, there were things that other creators told me in 5 minutes that literally changed so much about my workflow or the way I approach things or think about things that if I had been able to hear that 3 years ago or 7 years ago, like...
Yeah.
It would have been kind of nice. Not that there's anything wrong with blazing your own trail, but it was just sort of like, wow, there is this group of people that don't fit. It just seems to always be where I always fit in where people don't fit in. And it's just kind of that thing. Like there's infinite resources for the person just starting out, for the small creator, for the hobbyist. the larger mega creators, they don't necessarily need those resources, but they already have, they don't need other resources because they kind of have their own. They have like HR departments and legal teams and agents and managers and CEOs, and it's a different thing. There's the person in the middle who's the one person just trying to make stuff, and whether it was intentional or not, it has now become a business, trying to keep it afloat. Maybe you're trying to grow it. Maybe you're trying to just figure it out and understand it and sustain it.
You know the word I've been thinking about lately? We don't have to like put this in.
Okay.
This is not what it has to be called. But the word forum. Because I feel like what it is just gathering these people together
Right.
to have these discussions. Like nothing has to come out of it, or someone doesn't have to say like this is the way that it has to be done or anything like that. But I think because this group specifically is so disjointed and like only talks to one person at a time, we can't like...
Yeah.
We can only go so far because it's all so spread out.
Well, when you realize there's this group, a big thing initially that was being talked about was like, oh, there's this organization. You turn it into something, and it's like an official organization. Which, like, I think baby steps starting out is like just let people know that other people are there.
Yeah. And
smush them all together, and then the other needs and problems and solutions for those problems will arise as they pop up. It's the same thing when people like they want to start out doing audio video stuff and they come watch my videos and they want to just go to like B&H and buy everything on the studio tour video. And, while I would love the affiliate revenue, don't do that. Like, start with whatever you got, and then your specific needs will become apparent. Like whatever microphone I'm using is one that maybe I chose for a specific reason, and you might have different needs that would actually lead you in a totally different direction. And as you start doing something, all these little things just naturally pop up that need to be addressed or solved or figured out or explored. And you just kind of have to start small to get to that point. And so I think that's a very manageable place to begin.
Yeah. Awesome.
Okay.
So let's get into it.
Let's just jump into it. What's up, Mac and the Rio Pel Room?
Hello.
So before we wanted to do this, I have my whole list of things. There's a scene from the show Silicon Valley that I wanted to show everyone because I reference this all the time, and I've never been able to like just pull it up and show. So this is here you go, season 4, episode 5. And basically, I can mute it real quick. Basically, what's happening here, this is how an episode starts. It's a tour through a garage workshop, and the guy in black, he is like a Steve Jobs type, basically. Okay. He runs like an Apple type company. And he kind of got ousted and is sort of re-exploring, and he's basically giving everyone else, all the other characters, a tour of the garage where he started. Because it takes on that Silicon Valley trope of like the company started in a garage, and he's explaining here like...
As we forge our new path together,
everything that happened, he's trying to get them on board with it.
Really important, not material success or wealth, but the spirit of innovation. A few coders, some ramen, and a dream. And that is why I brought you here. All right, let me show you the rest of the place.
I have a feeling I know where this is going. I knew it.
The garage inside
the
your
garage is...
So... what he did, because he's a crazy Silicon Valley billionaire, is he took the garage from his house that he started the company in and put it in
his hangar.
Yeah, his current garage, which is essentially an airplane hangar that has all this other stuff here. The reason I'm showing this is because while we disclaim that we didn't talk to any of the creators of the channels that we're talking about, they are from my personal subscription feed. They're all people that I've been subscribed to for a long time. And I've watched tons of videos from. It's not just, I just didn't search like an hour ago or anything. These are people years and years I've been subscribed to. And I feel like I have a pretty good sense for when someone's being genuine and when someone's being not. Although on YouTube, sometimes it can be very tough to tell. And I don't think there's anyone who's doing this in this list where they look like the small creator who's like, just me in a bedroom. And then, like literally.
Turns out,
yeah.
Turns out there's a crew and there's a whole situation.
So I just bring that up in case that is the case and I'm not aware of it. That could be a thing. I don't know everyone's details. But that's also something to to kind of keep in mind, because this I think is, I don't know what your button is to share. Ooh, look at that. This is the kind of thing that does drive me crazy, because there are channels, and I feel like there are channels that do the like, look at us, we're just in our little workshop here, when the reality is this, and they are not upfront about it. And that drives me insane.
Your face.
So we'll just leave it there. All righty.
Okay.
So that's kind of where we're at right now.
Wow, you're going to lead with this one.
Oh, you know what? Yes. For sure it was planned, and this was not an alphabetical situation. But right over here.
You just push that button.
Yeah, here we go. Here's our first channel. So you might recognize this logo here, and even Obscure Mike's, who's also a podcast co-host with Audio Hotline, hanging out here. Let's see. He said bump up Heather's volume just a little bit. There we go. No, thank you. That's why.
Woot.
Yeah. Bronson, I don't know if you're here, so I'm throwing you in this because I think you're a great example of.
We think that you are a great example.
You're a fantastic example of, even though this is not a full-time gig, probably like if push came to shove and like it was a life-threatening situation where you had to make it your full-time gig, I bet it could turn into that.
You have everything.
It's a conscious decision not for it to be that. You are just one person doing the whole thing, figuring it out, navigating it. I know for a fact you leave money on the table because you want to go in your direction. You want to focus on the things you want to focus on. I know there's been ups and downs, but I also know, you can go to Bronson's videos and you can go, there's one a week ago, and you can go from the oldest one with very different looking thumbnails 5 years ago. And you can see the person figuring it out through this entire journey
all
here.
The testing, all the trying, all the experimentation, which like I feel like does have to be part of it.
It's hard to get good at something without doing that, right?
Right.
Like,
yeah, because in order to find your voice, right? Don't you
Right.
have to make stuff?
yeah, you have to figure out, you have to dial in your style.
Yeah.
How many starting out channels, even if they're great and the audio video is awesome, but they kind of look like another channel. They sort of like, especially in the, the camera photo niche, there's a lot of Peter McKinnon channels that pop up, because people watch one of the biggest people in the space and they look at their style, their set, the equipment they're using. They try to duplicate that, and they can duplicate it pretty well, but like that's already been done. So it's only after doing that, you watch those people who start out looking like somebody else, and then you check back in on them a couple years later. And
I mean, everyone does that. Everybody.
You have to
single
start
person.
somewhere.
Yeah. And not just YouTube. That's like, we all,
Yeah.
you taught English. Like, we all have to read these Shakespeare plays before we write our own stuff. Like,
I mean, typically, if you learn an instrument, you learn how to play very
A
simple
song
songs
that's
that
already
already
been on there,
exist.
yeah.
And eventually you write your own song. So this is kind of I don't know how much you want to show from each channel or what we want to talk about from each channel, but this is a great example of
I think
whatever we're talking about.
right. So like the thing that we narrowed it down to the 3 pillars, I think, it was impact,
Integrity,
and
iPhones.
Income? No, independent. That was it.
Independence.
Yeah. So independent includes income in that you are professionally independent at doing this by yourself, and it is generating income for you. You do it with integrity, and the impact is kind of an umbrella for, yes, you're making an impact, but that's not, I don't think people that we're talking about get into it with the like hope, like I'm doing this because I'm going to eventually influence all these people. It's the passion, it's the fun of it that ends up happening, that impact ends up happening. But the reason why you even, like, there's so much uncertainty and for me, insecurity in terms of like when I was just starting out, and then it leads to, when you build your audience and find your voice and all of that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Agreed.
All right. So anyway, that's, I think,
YouTube.com/audio hotline.
fits all those pillars.
Yeah.
Just to reiterate what the pillars were.
All right. Up next, another Heather.
Another Heather. Another Heather.
Fellow filmmaker. So youtube.com/fellow filmmaker right here. This is also a channel, like, fortunately, we've also been able to like meet people and become friends, but this was just a channel that I stumbled across several years ago, and getting to know Heather over the years, she's very transparent about her, like, where she's at and what she does with her channel. And she's definitely one person. It's definitely independent. She's been doing it a long time. She's got oodles of integrity. And if you go and genuinely seeks to make an impact, and you can see that in the comments of videos, but she does live streams fairly regularly. And the last one was this one here called There's a Problem with My Channel. And you can see in the comments to that how many people show up saying that they've learned stuff, they've benefited, they were able to get started because of her channel. But what she's talking about in that channel is this was sort of right after the whole thing with Insta360 where it came out. They were sort of asking people to not disclose their sponsorships. And then there was a discussion about like YouTubers working with brands and trustworthiness and all that kind of stuff. And she brought that up. And the reason I wanted to highlight her here is because I think she does have a different approach than a lot of people in that she is essentially, I guess you would call it, like, proud of working with brands, but she has a system for doing it.
Yeah.
She doesn't say yes to everybody, but she's very clear. And she talks about, I'm just, what's it called? Paraphrasing stuff from the stream where she was saying, like, this is a business. I need to run my business. I need to live to do these things. And in order to do that, I need to get paid. So when I work with brands, I don't just want free products. I don't want this. Like, I want to be able to earn an income from doing this so I can keep doing what I'm doing. And I want to figure out a way to focus on things I'm interested in a way that's helpful and informative and trustworthy, but also doesn't mean that, you know, she has to be like in the poorhouse.
Yeah. And I think, like, why is that interesting? Most people don't. Most people hide it.
I think what's
How
interesting
is she
about
doing
it
differently?
What she said in the live stream was that she basically, like, she doesn't take products unless she gets paid. Because a big thing was like, oh, you get free products. And it's like, I always kind of joke, like, the bank won't let us pay our mortgage with microphones.
Yeah.
For some reason. And she kind of like, yeah, that's why I need to get paid. If I'm spending a week or two or however long of my time making this video about this product.
I think, like,
she's just very upfront about it, but she's also very upfront about how she works with the companies, and that they're not going to tell her, like, she's not going to have something that's terrible and tell you it's bad. Like, she spends her time scoping something out where, like, this is something that's awesome. This is something I love. This is something I think is worth talking about. Let's figure it out now. And I think that is a rare approach. It's very different from my approach. Which is also what I wanted to show. It's not that there's one way to do it. Like, I run my channel very differently from that, and I think both are fine.
Well, I think the reason why it's great to highlight Heather and her approach here is because I don't want. We talk a lot about how I don't want it to be. I don't want to paint the impression that, like, money is bad and we don't want that, right?
I would like more of it.
Yeah, just because we focus on integrity and impact and fun and, like, all these other intangible, you know, things
factors.
that motivations and things that drive us. Like, no, 1,000%. This is a business at the end of the day, and we want to, you know, aim for sustainability and growth. But how do you do that in a way where you maintain the other pillars, I guess?
Right. And that is one of the things that is kind of part of it. By the time you get to a point where, like, you would be on the list, which is a good thing, I think, to be on.
Just call it the list.
Sorry, I don't have to do the voice and the air quotes. By the time you're on this list, you've had to, like, figure that out for yourself.
Right. And
how it works for you. And that takes time. There's no way to do that without taking a bunch of time.
Yeah. Awesome.
Cool.
Do you want to check in?
Let's check in with the chat.
Check in.
I also learned, since I haven't been teaching for several years at this point, my teen slang is frozen in 2021. And I found a thread on Reddit the other day. It was in the teacher subreddit, and it was like a list of current student slang. And I was trying to read through, like, all the stuff people are saying. And apparently chat is slang. Like,
I don't believe that for a second.
Like, Like you would say something like if someone came in right now and was like, "You guys are crazy," I'd be like, "Oh," except you weren't here. I'd be like, "I don't know, chat. What do you think?" Or like, it's where like you.
I feel like they're referring to Chat GPT.
No, streaming
No.
chat. It's streaming lingo. I swear to you. I mean, maybe there's someone here who knows.
Yolanda's
Do you have
here.
a child?
Do you have a child? Chip is here. Oh yeah, Kat says that happened last year with Nate from Channel
yeah.
Makers. Everyone was shocked when he left, and we found out he was part of a team.
Yeah.
That was like shocking, and I don't even watch him, but I don't know. I felt it based
That's
on
the
my
thing.
yeah.
Even lately, I've been referencing our NAB videos a lot, and I keep saying like, "Oh, when we were doing this," and I kind of wonder, I'm like, "Oh, in the videos, it sounded like I had a team, but it was mainly you, me, Bronson at NAB, like filming stuff and passing camera back and forth."
We.
So there was a we very much that like made decisions and helped with the creativity, but it's not like me and my team that I never speak of.
Impressive Tony says, I love that Tom is using a mic that costs less than the standard.
I didn't realize that, but you're totally right. Using the SM58 today, the reason for that is because I used it. You were on my podcast for a couple episodes, I think episode 8 and 9 of the season that just wrapped up. And I was on the SM7B, you were on the SM58, and it sounded so good. Every mic sounds good on your voice, but it sounded so good that I was just like, you know what? Let me...
Gil says the coffee B-roll era.
That was the Peter McKinnon. Coffee
I wasn't
B-roll.
going to say it, but
yeah,
you said it. Happy Friday. Wait, you can't pay the mortgage with microphones?
I just put it in an envelope, send it in. They just, for some reason, the bill doesn't go down.
These are conversations I'd love to have. Preview my hello, hoi hoi. Chat, I'm officially old because I've never heard. Yes, Nate Channel Makers was revealed as a shock. I didn't know.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. I always use MKBHD as an example, Marquez Brownlee, because he is so transparent about his team and his studio, and you've seen it grow, and like how he's managed to maintain his voice while building. We've talked about that a lot. So it's not even that those things are bad. It's when you're building the fake garage in the real garage situation. Like, that's the thing that drives me crazy. And that's just how you...
And that's fine.
Yeah.
But we're trying to create a forum for the people who are still in the garage.
Who are in the real garage.
Yeah. Who are in their real garage. Yeah.
Yeah. Here, Mike Newman. Being honest about what you do, why you do it, and how you do it is really all that matters. Let the viewer decide after that. After all, YouTubers are in the opinion. Yes. And so being upfront with it. This is me. This is what I do. This is how and why. I don't know why Mike's comment is insanely tiny on
because
screen.
I don't know how to get Ecamm to wrap the comment.
Oh, it just squeezes
so it just puts the whole comment in one line. I don't know how. I'm sure there's like a checkbox somewhere. I don't know how to do it though.
Yeah. Rick on mic, could you please show us what the Rode Procaster looks like with the pod mic windscreen on? I've asked other YouTubers but haven't seen it yet. I don't have my Procaster handy, but if there's a chance later I could grab it. It basically is exactly what you think, but if you want the visual example, we can probably do that later. And Tony says, it's my life goal to make it on this list. Again, not an inclusive or exclusive list. It's just...
that, and also, it's not like, how do I want to explain this? I think the effective part, like the part I feel like that would distinguish this group from all the other creator spaces out there is that it's not attached to one person. Like, it's not Heather and Tom's membership. It's not like the Ecamm creator community. Not that there's anything wrong with those types of groups, but I think this is more of like I see it more of like a forum, like where
it can't belong to anybody.
It can't belong to somebody's like name, and the reason why is because like everyone's input is just as important. Like, we are not saying we know how to do it. We want to create the space and be part of it just as much as everyone that we're highlighting and everyone who is here. And I don't think you meant that, Tony, but I do want to.
No, it's good to clarify.
Yeah, I want to clarify that it's not. I think that's the thing that would make it different from all the Discord servers and all the things that are already out there.
Yeah,
is that it's not
somebody's.
Someone isn't making money off of it.
Right.
Right.
Or gaining a following.
Yeah,
or an
there's
audience or
no
whatever.
conflict of interest in that way. The person who is administering it, which will probably be us, because obviously we want to create the thing that we want to be a part of. But that's it. Like, that's the extent of
Right.
it.
Right.
All right.
So I wanted to show a slightly different example next. Don't switch to it just yet.
I was gonna finish.
Are we gonna check in? Let's check in. Let's finish checking in.
Tech Troublemaker. I will remain an unprofessional independent creator until it makes sense to be a pro. Jeremy says, not in a real garage. Too cold in Seattle for that. But does in a bedroom that my now college-age kids used to inhabit and count.
Yes,
Yes.
you're good. Don't worry.
Greetings from the career lowest
Lowest
class. Dawn says, my studio is the end of my dining room that's fully open to family room and kitchen.
I love it.
A cooperative community. Oh, I didn't mean anything negative by that. Yeah, I know you didn't, but it's more of like the thing that I think of as the person who is kind of spearheading this is, how is this different from the things that are already out there?
Right.
I mean, in 2020, we saw everyone had a community. Everybody. We all started online communities, and I want to put it forward of like why this is different from the ones that are out there.
Yeah, whatever
And
it is.
your comment just made me think of it. That's all.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Hey, look, Mike wants to upgrade his setup from the attic to the garage. Wouldn't that be technically a downgrade because you're going from up to down? All right. So one thing that we talked about was channel size,
Yes.
and
There is no.
there's so many different ways to run a YouTube channel and so many different niches that you can't really pin it on channel size, because you can have people. The decision of whether or not I want to be a full-time YouTuber is a personal thing, but you can have people who want to and are able to with 15,000 subscribers. You can have people who want to and are unable to with 500,000. So there's
Yes. So channel size is not a factor.
right, and there are.
I mean, take me.
There you go.
Yeah, I've been full time this whole time
Right from day one.
from day one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not obviously.
Yeah. Now, obviously, as a channel gets to a certain point, it can be. I mean, I was thinking of PewDiePie right now. Like, used to be the biggest solo creator on the platform. Still one of the biggest, if not like you want to like get kind of technical and say he still is.
Yeah, I think he still is.
Well, I mean, there's others with bigger channels, but in
But
terms,
I think they have studios.
I feel like he kind of would fit the list.
Yeah, like okay,
He has an
yeah,
editor.
PewDiePie, one employee, okay.
But I mean, like, channel size. A point being,
Yeah,
channel
sorry.
size isn't necessarily an indicator, because it's one of those things you're not even responsible for. What if you're just doing what you do and your channel blows up, but you're still doing what you do? Now you're, we've talked to people since you brought this up. People with 7-figure channels who are like just as lost and confused and trying to figure it out.
We could show one of them.
Oh yeah, we did.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I did want to go in a slightly different direction. So this is Super Eye Patch Wolf. It's also one of my favorite channels. He's 1.75 million subscribers. That's a big channel, and he's been doing it for almost 10 years, I believe, at this point. He has merchandise. He has a second channel. He has a Patreon. He has outside things, all that stuff. His upload schedule is kind of whenever videos are done. You can sort of see like most recent video a month ago, 5 months, 7 months, 9 months. He does a handful of videos a year, but they're pretty. Last one was 2 hours long. Before that, 42 minutes. They're very like dense in terms of writing, imagery, editing, planning, like the research.
It's an experience to watch.
It's an experience to watch any of them.
Yeah.
And it's a great experience. And he's been very clear too that I think what he said is he edits like 99.9% of all his videos. If there's some weird thing, like he needs a very specific effect or an animation that he's not capable of doing, then
If you want to check out his channel, this one was really funny, but there was also, what was the one that you told me to watch of his? Was it this one?
it was that one. Influencer courses.
No, I felt like there was one.
That's
that
the
was just-
YouTube one.
That one.
It is that one.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
This one's like if you can, a lot of this is anime and video games. This is about content creators. So if you want to watch one of his videos, this is the one.
It's a great one to start with.
It's amazing.
I've watched it several times just because it's like, yeah. This Garfield one also. This is one of those channels where like don't even ask whether or not you're interested in the topic. Just watch the video, and he will make you interested in the topic. I'm telling this Garfield one, though, I think about this like 4 times a week, probably. But anyway, he's one guy who writes it, is on camera, edits it, figures out the topics. Obviously, he ain't following trends.
Yeah.
There's none of that happening. It's just what he's interested in and figuring it out. And he talks about in this video too, people like ask him like, how do you start a successful YouTube channel? And he's like, well, start making weird, obscure videos about obscure anime and video games
8 years
8 years ago. Like, it's like, I don't know. I just know the one way I did it. And, you know, there's been ups and downs along the way. But, you know, he is objectively YouTube successful as well. As far as I understand, it's his full-time gig. Channel is huge. He's very well respected in his space. I'm guessing he has to make revenue. I know he's got his Patreon and stuff, and you know.
Also, can we talk about this subscriber to view count ratio? Like,
it's a good one.
It's way good.
Yeah. Because I saw 1.75 and the last one's 1.7. I was like, oh, okay.
I mean, that's insane. No one ever has anything that's like
it's
that.
Yeah, this is pretty. But you know, I mean, like, they're good videos. I don't know how else to describe it. This bizarre world of fake video games is so interesting because it's like, what is media? It's like it goes so esoteric and like it's a great one. So I wanted to share this as an example that. We're not talking about channel size.
Yeah. So even if someone is in the millions.
Yeah. And I'll kind of go, this is sort of another one that I always use as an example, which is Luke Towan. I've been following Luke since 2017. He's at 1.2 million subscribers. I don't believe he does YouTube full time. I believe he's a pilot in his day job. He lives in Australia and his channel is what he does when he's not flying. And he films in his garage, his real garage of his actual house that he did create a scale model of. And he does scale modeling tutorials. He's been doing Simpsons stuff lately, so he's been doing like all these things from The Simpsons. But he does other than the cartoony ones, he does typically very photorealistic scale models. And I found his channel and started watching him to just fall asleep because it was just, I meant to do popular. I want to see what his most popular one is. Like, it's so cool because even the thumbnails where it looks like the sky must be photoshopped in, it's not. He takes the scale models outside and takes photos of them in the sun.
Yeah, see, like this is a scale model.
Yeah.
That's not a
Isn't
nature
that awesome?
photo. Yeah. Like this, obviously the water is not moving, as you can see.
And then the videos are he just tells you exactly how to do it. And it's so interesting too because you can follow his tutorials. He tells you every tool, every piece of equipment, he solves every problem. He explains exactly what you need, exactly how to do it in, like, I was going to say excruciating detail, but it's delightful detail. And he has a voiceover that, like, you know.
On Scenic's water effects, which is a thick acrylic paste that dries clear. A bead of this product is applied right along the edge of.
So, like, you could create what he creates just from the instructions. And then, of course, there's always the very satisfying, like, the ending where you get to see, you know, it all come together and how things look. But he knows that most people watching these tutorials aren't rebuilding this model.
Yeah.
You're watching it because you love watching him do it.
You watch the process. Yeah.
You watch someone who's so skilled at what they do. And it does that thing, like, look at that. It does the thing where when you think it's done, you're like, oh, this looks great. Then he goes 15 steps further and makes it look even better. And that's kind of amazing. But he is just one guy who films. He figures out what he's going to make scale models of. Like, he started to do Simpsons stuff lately. He figures out, he does have a Patreon. So this is what I wanted to look at here. Because some of these creators have, you know, like iPatchWolf had a Patreon. I'm a patron of Luke's page. And it's not huge. You get stuff right there, and then he does actually give you resources. So if you wanted to, like, get a lot of things that are like printable or 3D printed models and things, you can get those from being in his Patreon. And I think he also does. Let me see. Let me see. I know he has a website that is a little more, because it's mostly
like a course.
Not really, because these are just YouTube videos. But he does have resources.
I
And what I'm
see.
trying to figure out, he turned all his stuff into a resource. But I know he does have. Okay, he has a shot. This is what it was.
A shop.
You can do Patreon. You can just donate, or you can go to the shop. And this is where, as he goes through and designs specific things, you can get the designs and like it's stuff you have to 3D print and whatever.
Oh my god, the phone booth combo pack. It's adorable.
Yeah. And it's $3. Like, this is not overly inflated stuff. And you get the STL files and then you print it out. So it feels very fair.
Yeah.
But it's, I don't know what his income is or whatever, but this is a 7-figure channel. It's been around for a long time. As a member of his Patreon, he's constantly updating you with what he's working on. So I know doesn't seem like he's going anywhere anytime soon. And I think he fits perfectly on our list.
Yeah.
Even though it's another 7-figure creator.
That's great. I just need to show you this
Okay.
very important thing here. Here.
Oh,
Look at the teeth. Okay, ready?
yeah.
Are you ready for the break, the commercial break? Brought to you by
Corgi commercial.
FinPin. You gotta go show the
No,
teeth.
I know.
Yeah.
I wanted to do this.
Look at-
anyway.
you see
This
the
is
teeth?
the bottom teeth.
Look at that.
Oh, Finley.
Finley. Hi, bud.
That was perfect. He's a tired boy.
I know he's tired.
What have you done today? Nothing.
Making money, you know?
Nothing.
Making money
all
looking
right.
cute.
Let's jump into the chat. We got Ernesto, my fave tech. Glad I made it. Happy Friday. Barks on that path with obscure videos of obscure gear singing. Scale model ASMR. In a way, there is a lot of, it's all narrated and stuff too. But
Yeah. The tongue.
still there. It looks exactly like when we turned off the phone.
But based off of who you've shown so far, like, I think I love the diversity in niche, topic, approach, background even. Like, I like that it's okay. So my last video, I showed a tweet from Mr. Beast about how he was like, "Oh, I want to make longer videos because I want to show that longer videos are performing well on YouTube. I want to show creators that it works, so
Right.
I'm going to start making longer videos." And then people retweeted that, took that
As gospel, and
yeah.
we're like, we need to. You hear that? This is the commandment now. Thou shalt make long videos.
But the thing that I wanted to show, again, there's nothing wrong here. But what is this? This one. Nope.
You know, fun it is to watch other people navigate their phones because it looks like I feel like everyone's better at using their stuff than I am.
Okay, here. Mac Mini. Okay. So this. Boom. Whoop. Let's see if we can make that bigger. Right. So here's the tweet. People want more storytelling in YouTube content, not just ADHD, fast-paced videos, which is why my new video is over 40 minutes long and has the most depth of any videos. My goal is to show it works, so more creators switch over. And then someone took that, retweeted it, and said, big creators are changing their content strategies right before our eyes, and we're not paying attention. Storytelling, less editing effects, and long form content. Yes. So I actually looked up this person, Influence with Cami, and I don't want to see it like, let's see. You guys can tell me. So this is that person.
Who did the retweet?
Yeah. So she has a course.
Why are you in Portuguese?
Me? I don't know, man. Why am I in Portuguese? How bizarre. Okay, so this is her. For some reason, Instagram. I don't know why it's like showing up in
I think I saw something up here. You could change it back.
this.
Was it that? Yeah.
Oh, why? There we go. There we go. So this is her Instagram. Now, there's only 500 followers, which is not that much. But if you go to her main page, she has 1.7 million. And like, this is her. So, you know, she's obviously built up a huge audience on her Instagram. I can't really put my finger on why. But I'm going to say that if I took her course, I don't think...
It's different than my Instagram strategy.
Like, it's just, I feel like there are things that are not going to translate over. Like, even if I took the course.
Right.
But I feel like with everyone that you're showing, they so much embrace their, I don't know, their passion for the thing.
Right.
Not that she isn't, but like, I don't know. I can't really.
I mean, they are, I guess everyone I've shown, I kind of didn't even realize this, definitely started doing this losing money, you know, like
right. I
for a
think that's
long
what it
time.
is. It's for the fun. It's for the fun of it. Not that she's not doing it for fun. See, like I can't really
Yeah,
put my
making
finger
money
on,
doesn't take away the fun of it, but it's the
I can't put my
intrinsic,
finger on why.
the internal motivation of the channels I've showed. I don't believe is fame or fortune or anything like that. I believe it's sharing a passion that you're interested in, and you know, or it could be something as simple as like, I really like making videos. Like it's fun to make a video, and people maybe want to make a video. And that is a very different motivation than optimization growth. Even though when you make stuff, you want it to grow and you want it to be, you know, as optimal as you can get it, I guess. But
I guess like my thing is when someone who has a course about being a content creator and is it seems to me they are a one person thing. Maybe they're not. But is a professional independent creator.
Sure.
But then retweets Mr. Beast, who is not a one-person content creator, and puts the spin of like, look, guys, this is what we have to do now to be successful. Like, that's where I think... I don't think that is like good for anybody.
right. Well, then it also turns out the Mr. Beast long video was sort of a semi-pilot for an Amazon Prime series, which is a little different.
Separate discussion.
But that also, but again, going back to the motivation of why are you making longer videos? Is it because you want to make a longer video, or is it because you now have a time marker to hit for a series on a totally different platform?
Right.
I'm not going to have an Amazon series probably anytime soon, so don't know if that's necessarily the best.
But it's like, I don't want to say it's like, I don't know, maybe we can find, I can't off the top of my head think of someone that we've talked about who is, like everyone's channel is about something aside from themselves, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm trying to say, I mean, okay, I have one that maybe isn't.
Okay, great. Show
Okay.
me. Because I'm trying to like explain.
I don't know, but let's just see. So this is probably
Because like I want to clarify, there's nothing wrong with taking a bunch of selfies and that is how you make your audience. Like I don't want to say that. That's not what it is. I'm trying to figure out what I'm trying to say, but
maybe people can figure. This is probably one of the newer channels that I've found. So I've maybe 3-4 months I've been subscribed to this channel. This is Casimir Kaskisuo. I have such a hard
Kaskisuo.
time saying the name. He is a professional hockey goalie. He's currently playing in the American Hockey League for the Laval Rocket. And he has a YouTube channel, and he's awesome because he does so many things that are AHL behind the scenes, which you just don't get to see much of. And he's, let me see, like, I don't know, where's his, I guess, here's a video. Like he shows you as much as he's allowed to show of this, because there's, you know, you can't show team practices and things, but he shows what it's like to travel. He shows his workout stuff. He shows his diet, his practice routines. He shows the game clips, and then he goes over what happened in the games.
Oh, this is cool.
He's great, and he's definitely, I don't know him, but he's definitely a camera / like audio
Enthusiast.
nerd. He's
Yeah.
like, he had a video where super excited about getting the new GoPro because it was super wide angle. He's always like playing with like different mic placements to get good audio, and like you can see him. He definitely films stuff on his own. He definitely edits it on his own, which is why like nothing. And sometimes people in the comments complain because they're like, "This is out of date. Like this is 2 months ago. This game footage that you showed." And he's like, "Well, been playing hockey professionally.
I'm busy.
It took me a while to edit it." And he's been growing a lot. And you want to talk about subscriber to view ratio. I wanted to sort of see like a lot of it, like he's in hotel rooms sort of talking about stuff. I guess this video doesn't have it. A lot of them, he's just at home with his daughter and talking about stuff, and like recapping games and things. But it's great. But if we go to his channel, currently has 62,000 subscribers. But his videos, I can go to more recent ones. 4 days ago, 14,000, 11, 13, 17, 18, 32, 50.
So
like
it's a good ratio.
this is an insane ratio. Like I
Yeah.
very much wish my channel had this ratio. But it's about him. I mean, it's about being a goalie, but it's about his
see-
experience being a goalie.
Yeah, but that's not what I'm trying to say.
I know. That's why I
wanted
wanted to figure out what the difference is.
Yeah,
Because this is a personality based. This is a.
No, because there's a topic. Like to me, the way that I would say this is it's hockey. It's not even him. It's the way that he does hockey, but it's
Sure.
hockey.
Okay. I don't know what the difference is. I was just trying to find one that is like person based rather
Yeah.
than.
Yeah, because I think like Heather's person based.
I mean, they're
Audio Hotline's
personality
person-based.
based is like, yeah, you watch the person for their personality, but I mean, like what they're talking about, like Heather's talking about lights, Audio Hotline's talking about audio. I guess, yeah, he's talking about hockey. But
Maybe that's like a separate.
I don't know. Let's
Yeah, let's check in. Let's
see here. Mihal's here.
Hello.
Evening again, folks. Obscure Mike says, of course, Beast Long videos will work. Though, heck, he got me on one yesterday. I don't even subscribe. Yeah, I mean that's the thing too, that it's always important to remember is there are people, not just him, but there are people who get a certain level. It's like anything will work. They don't have to follow the rules anymore. Like, not rules, but the best practices. Like, you could, not that those bigger channels would always do this, but they could potentially just like use the default YouTube thumbnail. They could maybe not have the best title, but it doesn't even matter because you see the new video from that channel and it's going to blow up, and YouTube knows that and they're going to send it everywhere. And so that's not a good thing.
Well, someone, I think it was Kevin Colby, left a comment on my original video and said because we are solo, more often we have a lot more to lose
Sure.
because it's us, right? Like we're just the one person.
Starts and ends there. I have an
Yeah.
eyelash in my eye. Sorry. I need to go get that.
And so of course every single video, we want to have it hit its maximum potential. Like we want to get the most out of every single thing that we work so hard on creating. And that's why we do things like that's why we spend so much time thinking of the best title and the best thumbnails, and that's why we'll spend so much time on the edit, because it matters. Not that it doesn't matter to the big guys. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out. Okay. My Instagram is doing that too, literally today. Oh, that's funny. So maybe it's just an Instagram thing. Time to switch up that IG strat.
It's just me, buddy.
Also,
while we're gone, I think it was Tony who somebody asked about the Procaster.
it was Rick on mic.
Rick, yeah. I grabbed the Procaster. I was getting the eyelash out. Mine has this windscreen on it, pop filter, so I don't want to take it off because I don't have a screwdriver. This is from, I forget what, it's BSW. It's like Broadcast Supply Worldwide or Warehouse or something. It's kind of expensive, but it works great. But I have the Pod Mic windscreen, like the new one. You can kind of like
I see.
do some mental Photoshop to sort of see like how this would fit on there and what it would look like. This one doesn't fit as snugly though. If it's okay, it's just not as snug. I guess I put it down here. It works. The other I don't know, I think it's the Rode WS2 windscreens fit perfectly. And they were actually designed for this before the Pod Mic, so it's sort of a backward sitch there. Anyway.
Mike says, I don't know if my Instagram would blow up if I followed her template. Her color scheme is like a spectrum and went from earthly slowly to vibrant across her photos.
I noticed that too. That was actually, I mean, you can for sure see the intentionality there.
Well, this is what I think it is. Kat said, when I see her Instagram, I think fitting a formula versus organic iteration. I think that's part of it. Because
Yeah.
for all the people that you've shown so far,
There's definitely no trend
have
following.
gotten to you went to the oldest videos and we saw the iteration. That's not to say that we aren't paying attention to the things that are working and the trends, and that obviously, like, that's part of the craft. You have to kind of know things, what's going on in your industry, in your space, but that doesn't mean that is what dictates what you create moving forward.
There's a difference between like, oh, this large creator said we should make these types of videos, that's what I need to do now, versus
yes, exactly,
like,
that, right?
and
because like even with the channels that you showed, like this hockey person versus Super Eye Patch Wolf, who seems to make a lot of content about like anime and video games and stuff, versus like Audio Hotline, like, because it seems to me that it is very much the voice of the person and what they're interested in. Yes, everyone wants to make the best content that they can, but it's not like, oh, longer videos are
that could be
working
something
right
if
now.
you're thinking, like, if you were thinking about doing longer videos and you see a conversation where people are like
exactly.
that might then give you the kick that you need to be like, okay, I think that might
Let
be
me
a thing
try
we're
it.
trying.
Right.
But that's different than if you're totally like, I'm making my videos this way and this is how I make my videos. Now
Person says,
now I have to do it this way. Like, you're
Yes.
changing because you're not in the driver's seat of your own channel, basically.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Let's see. Is Mr. Beast so big he can tell his audience that they should be watching long form instead, and suddenly they do?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think it's for sure at
He
that
can
point.
really just sit there and, I mean, this is the way he counted to 1 billion.
I don't
was
think it's
like
a
his-
billion, but I think it's like 100,000 or something. He'd
Oh.
still be going probably.
Definitely doesn't translate to others. Not sure I feel motivated to take a course to start professional modeling selfies of me holding microphones for thumbnails. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I definitely want to,
No, but it goes so here's the other example I use is I don't even know if he does this anymore. Obviously, Mr. Beast's thumbnails are a whole industry unto themselves. But I know he had several secondary channels where it would be like the exact same picture of him in the side of the frame and then like reacts to this, reacts to that, reacts to whatever. But it's literally the same picture in every thumbnail with a different thing that the topic of the video is. And I saw a lot of people taking those and saying like, look, thumbnails with faces in them work. And so there was this debate over like, should you put your face? Should you not put your face? It's not about what the content is, what the video is about, what's called for.
it's
It was
whose
that.
face.
And then Netflix started switching the way that they show thumbnails on their platform, not to copy Mr. Beast, but they started, instead of just using like the movie poster that we've all seen a million times, they would show like a frame grab from a movie or a show, or they would almost like create multiple custom thumbnails. And when they first started doing it, pretty much all of them had like the actor or actresses or both, like multiple people's faces in it. And I saw so many people take that and use that as like, look, Netflix is doing this. Like, Netflix are putting people's faces on their thumbnails. Like, because this existing industry and platform now has to use the thumbnail format that we're all accustomed to. Look how they're doing it. And people thought, yeah, I'll do that. There's a difference when it's Brad Pitt in the thumbnail versus person nobody knows. Like, that was never part of the conversation, is like,
Right.
everybody in those thumbnails is a celebrity. Like, that's why they're in the thumbnail. Not to say you shouldn't be in your own thumbnail.
It's not that there's a face in the thumbnail. It's the face that's in
whose
that
face
thumbnail.
is in the thumbnail. Yeah.
right. Yeah.
And so in that discussion, there was no nuance. And that's kind of what misses in a lot of these, is like the nuance of whether or not you have a face in your thumbnail comes down to not only your style and your personal preference, but of course the topic. Like, some things make sense for you to be in there. Some things don't make sense for you to be in there. And that's different for everybody. But there is no answer like, yes, all thumbnails need faces now. No text on thumbnails ever. Yes, that like,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah. I mean, even just scanning through who we've been talking about,
Yeah,
everyone does it so different.
So different.
Obscure Mike says the topic with her is her, which is not a hobby or life experience.
I guess life experience. Yeah. Okay. It's
I don't know. I don't know, because everyone that we're thinking of has a topic. Like there's
right.
there. I don't know, but see, like even here, Tech Troublemaker says, it is like Life of Riza is so produced, so is it still a vlog? Because that's like
Okay,
me.
that's a
It's
good
like
example. It is.
yeah, like my vlogs are me and my life. So I don't know.
It's literally
How
her
is,
life.
how is that? How is that any different? Yeah,
I mean, it's like.
I don't think it matters.
Yeah, I don't know what
for
the
the
difference
group
is there.
that we're. Yeah, I think that's like a separate conversation.
But that's a good example. That's another really great example of a channel, though.
Yeah. Miel says, are you talking about people who are saying, look at me, I'm brilliant, and if you follow me, you could have what I have? Is that the difference?
Maybe there's a.
I also think that this is a separate conversation because I do think that not that there's anything wrong with this. Or maybe
So many disclaimers we have to give.
I know. I shouldn't offend anybody. But like I do think it's weird where there is a creator who has made it, right? Is successful. Is making a lot of money basically. And they showcase their lifestyle that they can now pay for from content creation. And then it's like, well, if you want this lifestyle, if you want the hangar that the
Right.
garage is in, take my course.
Right.
Versus like, you know how you're so passionate about Legos? Like, let me tell you how you can share that passion on YouTube.
Do you remember?
Like, I think that's the thing I have a kind of a problem with. I don't know.
Do you remember in like the late '90s, early 2000s?
This was the like when you turned on the TV in the
Yes.
90s at like 2 a.m. This
Yeah.
guy would be here.
Free money, like that's like the modern day version
here
of
we go.
this.
What happened to this guy?
He turned 80 in May.
Oh wow, good for him. Oh, he goes to Burning Man.
Dressed in his suit. If you don't know what this guy is, he would have late night TV infomercial
This
type
might be
things.
just like an American thing.
It might be an American thing. I don't know if we'll be able to even find any. But he'd run around in these suits and he would talk about ways to get rich and ways to make free money and like, you know, buy my book on making money and like have these cars, have these women, have all this stuff. And it was so outlandish and crazy. But I feel like the thing you're talking about is the 2024 equivalent of that. It's just what he is now.
Like I so here's a person, I don't know what happened to this guy. But this is a person I think of. Oh, see, I think he like something happened. But do you guys remember Ty Lopez? I feel like maybe 2016 he was pretty big.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm not going here. Sorry, that was TikTok. I got scared. But like Ty Lopez was somebody
He's
who
still going.
Well, good for
This was
him.
a
Let's
recent
go
thing.
with oldest. But it was this. It was this. It was literally girl, nice cars, mansion. Do my 10 steps, 10 rules of making money, and you will get this lifestyle. Like, this is why I think it's a separate conversation, because this is like its own niche.
Yeah, well, that's where in the Eye Patch Wolf video about the influencer courses, he covers a lot of courses that are how to become an influencer. It's almost this, like how to grow an audience and how to do this. And the thing that he asks is like, if these courses work, then how come they aren't working? Like, because he like digs into them and kind of like in a very
I think everyone
empathetic way, he looks and goes like, I can't find evidence of. It's the thing of like, if you're telling everyone how to become multimillionaires, why isn't everyone a multimillionaire? Why are you the only
That's
multimillionaire?
the problem I had with the NAB talk. It's because you can't just throw out these things when, like, obviously everyone on this list is totally capable of, like they would know. The hockey guy would freaking know what he needs to do. What are you going to tell me freaking long form video and TikTok? Like,
Yeah.
so I think the point is that drive, motivation.
Right. Where the motivation comes from.
If money, like if, it's the thing that drove you to even try to make your YouTube channel in the first place. Like, yeah, money's on
That's
the table
the impact,
now.
the eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you're doing it because you're excited about freaking Legos or cameras or audio or scale modeling or hockey or whatever. Like, there's a thing that's like, you can't stop talking about this thing anyway. Camera on, camera off. And now you're able to share that with YouTube, which is such a magical thing.
Mm-hmm.
That is an awesome thing. That's why, I mean, that's why it's so exciting. And I think that's why I get sad when it ends up, you turn this super fun, magical, powerful platform into just like the greed of it. And it just makes me sad. Because it could be like so pure.
It could. We're at the top of the hour.
Sorry.
Past the top of the hour. No. I put together like the whole list of things, and the channels I chose today are even just a small part of just my list, which is obviously a very small part of
Do you
YouTube.
want to like just
I just kind of want to speed run.
Yes, let's speed
this
run.
isn't even my full list, but I just want to do a quick speed run to give you some more.
And then we'll
breadth of
check in
thing.
with comments.
So we got Cathode Ray Dude, who I know does do this full time, and I think he's yet to do any sort of sponsored content on his channel, and has very strong feelings about that, and so relies on Patreon and is very transparent on Patreon about that. He's been around for years, but maybe 2-3 years ago, channel really blew up because it's super niche. I mean, you can kind of see. Let's go to not the For You one. So we did a video 4 days ago about
Ooh, I love the shirt.
the Devious Edge Resurrection. It's weird little like old bits of computer
Very
tech.
niche.
Very, very niche. But look at how many people are interested in his videos. I mean, 11 days ago, 60,000 views. 2 weeks, almost 100,000.
But see, like here's a person who obviously is making the videos as long as they need to be. Like
yeah,
there's no
they'll
consistency.
And he's been doing it 7 years ago, testing a Casio. You can see everything kind of grow and develop. He did get to a point where when his Patreon took off, he was able to rent like a little office. So he does, because he was in like a basement before, and he now is able to have like an office to go to, and like left his job, and that's his workplace that he goes to. And he's also been open about like how difficult that is, and that is expensive, and like it is just sort of like it's just guy with office and things. But
Which is another thing that all these channels have in common. It is very clear that everyone is figuring it out.
Yeah, and that's why I love going from the oldest to the newest, and you can see people. And if you know, in another year when this list gets longer, you'll see that it continues
to evolve.
If the person
and iterate.
continues, it will continue. Yeah. Scott Kramer. This is another bigger channel. He's at 881,000. So this is commentary is not it. Entertainment maybe.
Which I love that he's on this list because
I don't know. I mean,
we don't because I think he's the closest example to it's not a hobby. Like it's not hockey, it's not like retro tech, it's not audio.
It's other things.
It's him. I feel like it is him.
You want to hear whatever he talks about is going to be interesting. He's also very interested in microphones.
So I guess like commentary.
I mean, I know I've heard him talk about this too, but the couple things about Scott, and I hope I get these right, is I believe his degree is in marketing, so he has like that's his thing, and he sort of got out of college and started doing like marketing for his like small town in North Dakota, and started doing videos, started doing that kind of stuff. Had been doing YouTube and stuff as a hobby, and then his channel kind of blew up and got bigger. And has been growing a lot. So if we go to his oldest one, 8 years ago, it's just like, just nothing happening. I mean, I shouldn't say nothing happening. Nothing figured out is what I meant. Like you are trying to figure these things out, and then you go to most popular, and it's a little bit of everything, I guess. Oh, this one. This is why I have the pillow that I have, is because of this video. But it's literally like he just tried every popular pillow. He will. I don't know. He did a whole one about like toilet paper and water beds, and like he just whatever. Like here's sort of an interesting topic. He did one where it was just him doing sort of like a roadside attraction road trip through. I think it's called the Enchanted Highway somewhere in North Dakota, because he's like, look, I live in like a state that people kind of forget about, but look at this super cool thing. And it was like a 2-day trip down this highway at just crazy art sculptures and things along the way. And, you know, he did one where it's like my small town festival. Like, I'm just going and like, this is what it's like to, and he did a whole thing though, but he does have big ideas. This is where it's like, it is just him. I was using an Earthworks microphone in that, which I like. It is just him. I know his wife helps out sometimes. They've got 2 small children, but he did this one last summer and his family helps out. He does like, it was this one. He does like this escape room murder mystery thing with his family, or he has done it every Halloween. But last summer he did this thing instead of like the Disney Channel games. He literally he must have spent months organizing this and had like, cousin running the drone and parents filming the B-roll footage and like flew in friends and like 1 or 2 YouTubers to come participate in like these team challenges where it was like, it was a whole...
Okay, I have to ask you a question.
I would say that this is a Mr. Beast video.
Exactly.
Yes.
Like, how is this different?
How is this different?
One
vibe entirely. Let me play you just a second and you tell me when someone yells and there's crazy graphics.
This is great. Let's go.
All right, what's your team strategy?
Well, we should probably think of one.
Okay, so I was gonna say cohesiveness, so that goes out the window. We really don't have anything to worry about.
That's basically what I was
The
thinking.
W secured.
Go get them, guys.
I appreciate it.
He's over there doing skips, high knees. He's just trying to. He's getting in your head.
And then when someone goes through the thing.
Agility. Turns out I was wrong.
I think I've got the agility.
Watch out for those anchors when you come.
So this feels like a well-produced home movie to me. Like the vibe, if you go watch like Mr. Beast's the long video, the people trapped in the cubes for 100 people in 100 cubes or whatever, and it's like it's edited different, the purpose is different. In this case, it was literally like he had talked about the Disney Channel games for a long time, so the thing doesn't exist anymore, and so he couldn't make videos about it anymore, so he like did it himself.
Oh, okay. So there's context.
And you can also see like he's very clear. I don't know if it's in this video or just in other things, but he's very clear. Like it was really hard to put this together. It wasn't like you do 3 of these a month. Like it was really hard to organize this. It was really fun to do it. It took forever to edit, and I was tired for the rest of the year. Like, like that kind of toll versus Mr. Beast, because you have the production studio
And the whole stuff.
a couple times a month. You can do like a big spectacle because while you're
So
filming this
clearly
one, there's
this
a
is a
new set
one-person-
being built over here.
Right.
Yeah. This is a one-person
He can't
thing.
do anymore because he did it.
Yeah, yeah. Like you need recovery time. I think this is his merch website, but I love it though because he does have the marketing background, and so obviously as a marketer, you are looking to improve, to optimize, to grow, to increase revenue, and he's very good at branding. And so they have a merch thing, but like the models are him and his wife in the website that he built with the photos they took of their merch. That's entirely different than like the AI generated, like here's what I think this shirt could probably look like on a human.
Right.
This is like
I'm wearing
we
it.
designed it, we ordered it, we put it on, we took the photos, we put it up on the website. Like
So definitely embracing the independent
side of things. But I mean, still like every video is sponsored.
Okay.
With like I don't know what niche this is, but this niche, it's a lot of like that's where you have like a mattress company sponsoring it or a food delivery service sponsoring it, like those kinds of just lifestyle companies ish sponsoring things.
Yeah. Shoes. Yeah, lifestyle.
That kind of stuff. Yeah. Every video has a sponsor segment. Every video is obviously making money. The channel's growing like crazy, but it is just the one guy who now has 2 small children at home to deal with.
I love that I love that because I think I want to show the variety because I do think that it's the diversity that is also going to make this group different.
Right. And again, I don't know that everyone would agree that they're in this group, but from what I have seen.
Oh, snap.
Yeah. I don't know if this person would agree that they're in this group. But Kat, I'm putting you in the group.
Woo, woo, let's go.
Same things. I mean, it's the exact same thing. We can go to the things. We can go to see what's popular. We can go to oldest, and we can see somebody figuring it out. I love watching.
Iteration.
You see the different thumbnail eras. You see like everything happen as people are figuring it out.
Organic iteration.
As it's growing out. And again, keeping in mind those 3 I's, the
Yes.
impact, integrity, and independence.
Right.
There's a difference right there between Scott Kramer putting together a huge game show spectacle and Mr. Beast putting together a huge game show spectacle. there's no CEO of Scott's channel. Like,
Yeah, he is.
it's his
him.
channel.
Right. The person behind the channel is the
Yeah.
person.
I think I don't know if it's the end of that one or a different one, but he talks about like he thinks like literally like his mom is filming is a secondary camera operator, and like I think it was like a cousin who had their drone to try to do stuff, and like
Maybe what it is
people had to go
like,
pick up the inflatables from the rental place.
Maybe what you're talking about is like the spirit of the you part in YouTube.
Very much so. Like
Yeah.
broadcast yourself used to be the slogan.
Right. Right.
And that's cool. And it is YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Kat like monetizes in all kinds of ways also.
Yeah. That's what I want to emphasize too. That's why like I wanted to point out like Scott does the monetization, the sponsorship is not
Audience size.
it's not a precursor, it's not a
yep.
requirement or a it's not good, bad, anything. It's just a thing. Here's Mary Spender. Her channel really is growing. She's a musician and she does lots of videos about playing guitar and being an awesome musician, and she is super cool, and I believe she might be buddies with Aubrey, who's not here right now. But,
Oh, really? How cool.
yeah, Mary's great, and it's like literally just everything is music focused, but it can be things from like, here's what it's like to be on tour, here's a custom guitar, let's look at a classic rock band, here's me like, playing a famous guitar. So it's all related to this industry, but it's different like parts of it.
Yeah. Well, it's their perspective on
Their
it.
perspective on, I'm a musician. Here's me engaging with music, and here's me engaging with the industry that I'm a part of. Ebos Vox, definitely someone who's independent, like massively independent. His nickname is the Stream Professor because he is kind of mad scientist-y with his whole, just everything. The whole studio, and I love his 4x3 square aspect ratio.
A different aspect ratio. Is that how it is?
He loves experimenting with like old cameras, old aspect ratios.
I've heard you talk about this guy. I don't know who he is.
Oh, he's great.
Yeah.
I'll show you something here. I did want to point out his Earthworks microphone here, though. He's using the Ethos, but he custom dyed it there.
It looks beautiful.
He's got the Canon L1 on the back on the CRT television there. But he also did a recent video. Where is it?
You got to go to videos, babe.
No, the ultimate rolling video setup.
Oh, you showed me this.
Yeah, of course I did.
I was like, hey, I'm in there.
But yeah, he was explaining. He watched my camera rig setup video. This was the rig he was using.
Like this room is awesome.
Okay,
I love just the chaos of it.
and this fits him, right? Like,
not that you need that now. Not
you
that
don't
everyone.
need chaos.
Yeah, not that everyone has to go and make the chaos now. But
and you
it's
can
like-
find people in his comments who are like, "Oh, the room gives me anxiety and stuff," and he's like, "I love it."
Yeah.
Like, I have spent years. It's their garage. They like. He has a whole video where they move into the house and like the garage gets torn out and they try to seal up the door because water's coming in. It's a whole thing. But this is him. This is his brain. Like, you're inside his world, inside his brain, putting things together. And then he put together this whole camera setup. But he's been at this forever, and he did have a recent video. You want to ask why it matters. Here's another reason. His most recent video is titled this.
YouTube just isn't for creators like me anymore.
And he kind of explains what that means. Like, he explains, like, I was
Creators
here.
like who what we're basically talking about. Is that what he's?
Yeah, he's been here from the beginning. I think he even talks about broadcast yourself and like when YouTube was that, and now like he sort of not only saw it, participated in it, helped it grow, and now because it feels like there's so much emphasis on the trends and the other things,
growth,
there's like no room for me here anymore in this place that I helped build, and that sucks.
Yeah,
because I don't think that's true, but I think it's
I
easy to feel that
honestly-
way.
I don't think that's true, and I honestly believe that a significant amount of the viewership doesn't want it to be that.
No,
I think they
no.
want it to be this like the creator that feels like a friend that they connect with because of their personality, their perspective, their
I
way
agree.
of explaining a thing. I mean, I think that's why. I mean, how many times have we seen? Oh, you unsubscribed because I subscribed to you for this, and now you're this enterprise,
Right.
Which like is fine, but like not.
I think that is what people want. I think like you've talked about Mr. Beast, like as someone being the. I feel bad that he's always the example we use, but he's just such
'cause
a
everyone knows,
visible.
yeah,
Exactly.
that's why.
There could be worse people who are the face of the platform, and He does bring in a lot to the platform, which helps them continue to be a platform that we can post stuff on too.
Yeah.
So it's not that it has to be one or the other, but there are those channels. There are these channels. There's people in the middle who now feel like they don't belong anywhere.
Don't belong. Right.
And that's why
We want to
I
make
think
a
it's
space.
an important discussion.
We want to make a space because we all belong.
Yo, I'm just going to do very quick. Talked about Chep. This is Chuck Hellebuck. His son is Connor Hellebuck. One of the finalists for the Vezina Trophy in the NHL. He is a very famous pro hockey goalie, but his dad has a YouTube channel I'm following for about 7 years, all about 3D printing. We talked about this as an example. It's one person doing everything from the beginning. Mark, here's one of our NAB buddies.
NAB buddy.
Mark is a good example of someone who literally just shared a couple things of like, oh, have you tried this? Have you thought about this? Even literally like, you didn't know Genius Link works this way? No, I didn't.
We learned so much in just like 5
He
minutes.
solved a problem I've been having for like a year, literally in less than 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. I see. I think that
that's
was
why
like.
it'd be nice if we could maybe talk more regularly about these things.
But the fun part about NAB is meeting the people behind these channels who are so fascinating and just have like such a dedication to the way they approach things and everything. Like you know how we're scrolling through the oldest videos and then scrolling up to the new. You can feel that in the conversations that you have with these people. Like they're so resourceful, they're so creative, it's so inspiring. Just like I could hear you talk about how you approach YouTube like all day. It's just fascinating.
And speaking of, I would actually recommend checking out this video from Mark, Expose the Truth Behind the Clickbait.
We're being cut off. You have to show it.
Are we being cut off?
No, scroll up a little bit. No, not that. Yeah.
Sorry.
Like that.
Instructions are hard.
This one.
This one right here.
The top right. Yeah.
Mark, if you notice, like Mark's view count is pretty healthy for a sub 100,000 subscriber channel and niche because it's not even a camera channel. It's mostly a lens channel, like very niche. And what he's done is he's essentially been able to take these things. If I told you, hey, Heather, you need this 20 to 40 millimeter
already
f2.8
stopped
lens,
paying attention.
but it's got a 67 millimeter diameter that you.
An F.
What if I was like, oh, here's a lens though that you can put this on your camera and it's going to handle like it could be pretty much the one lens you take everywhere and it's going to look really good.
Okay, kind of.
Okay, now you're kind of in and I can tell you.
Because you're speaking my language. Like if you say these model
I'm
numbers.
contextualizing in a really relevant way.
Yes.
Mark has gotten really good at doing that and then got a bit of criticism for saying it's clickbaity because instead of saying, like whatever lens review, it's this lens transformed filmmaking, $75 cult classic.
Right. So there's no like model.
Every APS-C shooter needs this lens, but he explains exactly why. And I honestly don't think it's clickbait. I think it's, in a way, I think it's helping because it's going to take people who wouldn't even, who would benefit, wouldn't even give it a second chance, and now are open to it.
Yep.
And we have talked about Mark about this, so I think he would actually be okay with being on this list.
Yeah.
And Mark also lives in Australia, sports family, like just figuring it out. We got Peter. Peter's somebody who has like, you want to talk about like professional polish and slickness and someone you would almost think does have a team.
Yeah. Nope.
And doesn't.
Does not.
I mean,
he confirm.
Literally built his studio, multiple studios at this point, but
wood
like
and nails in his bare hands.
Yeah, so there is no team there. It's not like I built a studio. Here's all the construction workers for a week putting it together. It's like here's me going into hiding for 4 months to build my studio together. And Peter, he's got physical products, he's got online courses, he's got sponsorships, he's got affiliate links and revenue. He's got 2 channels. Like he explores everything, and he's so open about his failures on his channel too. So he tries something, it doesn't work. It doesn't just like, what happened with that thing? He'll tell you about it and explain why. And he's always very, very clear about, he's just very open and transparent.
Yeah.
Which I think is one of those things that's just incredibly beneficial for everybody. Mooncat. She's great. And this is an example. This goes in the face of everything NAB was talking about. So she's got 453,000 subscribers. Her most recent video came out 6 days ago, and it's called I Debunked Evolutionary Psychology with almost 1 million views. Before that was a year ago, almost 2 million views, Sovereign Citizen, Pseudo Law and Disorder.
Wow.
this is not what a YouTube coach would tell you to make videos about.
Exactly.
And this is 3.5 hours. This is an hour and 46 minutes. This is an hour and 20. Like, they're long videos. But she explains stuff really well. I mean, she does like, she'll do like skits and things. I can't find the ones. The amount of research is insane, but a lot of them are her just with a beer, like pouring beer. And then people started criticizing because she would pour beer into a glass and there'd be like too much foam in the beer. And they were like, oh, like this woman doesn't know how to pour beer. So now she like purposely like puts too much foam in the beer and like calls it out on camera and stuff. Like, she's great. She's also a musician, which is really funny because in her video, this is a video essentially about evolutionary psychology. It dives into like the alpha male bro world a bit. And it's very funny because then I saw a couple people in her comments trying to give her like production advice. Like, you should really add
mansplaining.
They were mansplaining like high pass filters and things. Never mind the fact she uses like 5 different microphones in this video. They're EQ'd perfectly because she is a professional musician who also includes original songs in the video related to the topic. But you're going to, tell her about the high pass filter or whatever. Which I think also just proves how difficult it can be for, like, people have to deal with things that others don't have to deal with just because of who they are when they try to make videos. But I honestly don't know if this is a full-time thing or not. I don't think so based on the upload schedule, but based on the popularity and the engagement, like 100% could be. But these are dense videos. Like, they're definitely worth watching all of them, to be honest with you. But none of them, I don't think any of these are anything that would be on the trending page. They're not anything that a YouTube coach would tell you to make a video about. And if you convinced your YouTube, like your traditional YouTube coach, like, I want to make a thing about messed up politics behind those gambling. Oh, there she's pouring her beer. Behind those gambling streams, they would probably tell you, well, don't make it a really long video. Right. Don't make a 3.5 hour video at evolutionary psychology.
See.
But yeah.
Let's
see. We got, this is Luke Towan. And then, hey, look at that. We got Gil.
Dun, dun, dun,
Gil,
dun.
I mean, again, independence, impact, integrity. I think every one of these channels has it. And Gil's a good example, too, because Gil spends so much of his time producing podcasts for other people I say portably and also in his own studio, which he has set up and optimized like crazy. So a lot of that stuff you don't see on his channel because it's for client stuff.
That same with mine.
Right. But and he shows up, but then he shows back to his channel with, here's what I learned from doing this. Here's what I've learned from this. Here's like,
I think it's important that like there is also the diversity of being a creator in the creator space where it's not necessarily, only from your channel.
There are a bunch of different ways to do it. I just recently started making videos for Buzzsprout. That are on their channel.
Exactly.
They're not on my channel.
There we go.
And that's cool. And they, I mean, I don't know. I just wanted to make sure to have a breadth of people.
So let's catch up.
I know it's long, but we talked about this list. I don't want to go through like 3 channels and that's the list. Like I want to blast through a bunch.
Okay, let's.
We're going long. Okay.
We're
We're around here. The RE20. I have the RE20 and don't like putting foam on it. So this filter is actually for the RE20, and I'm using it on the Procaster. So there you go.
The Road to Health says, I think the length of video should always be based on how long it takes to tell the story or explain what you teach. Copying Mr. Beast might work if you're an entertainment channel, but not others.
As long as it needs to be, I think is the best way to follow it.
Yeah. Joel says, I follow Netflix Dev, and they did a test on the thumbnails, and they found that if the thumbnail had one person versus multi-person versus no person, that would get clicked on more.
Interesting.
Of course, they did A/B testing because
I mean they're not gonna wing it.
Yeah. Let's see. No hate whatsoever. Some folks want to see beauty and glam lifestyle and live through that. So in one sense, she's doing the Lord's work. I believe the majority's biggest obsession is how others see them. So that's absolutely where the followers are at. Social media age, not for me, but I get it. The King, after 48 years of a career, getting ready to start a channel. Little scary.
That's
this
exciting.
Is so that is, oh my gosh.
That's one of the best places to be.
Exactly, man. Like I'm so happy for you.
You're in the sandbox phase.
So it's like you're standing at the beginning of the yellow brick road, about to go on this awesome adventure. It's so awesome. knowledge.
That's the Ty Lopez thing. What's up, John?
Hey, Tom. Great to see you live.
Got Bailey here.
Bailey, Wolf Rider. Hey, totally get your frustration with those types of just feeding of the people's need to be successful and dream of being financially successful. Mike says, I'm very close to Bryce. 600K subs, blew up making rap videos to Call of Duty videos, then decided to switch to videos about his life, and it dropped off big time.
Yeah, I mean,
my point was sometimes big time creators don't always have success doing whatever they want after making videos with millions of views per video. Change it up and then get less than 15K views.
Yeah, I mean, Peter's a good example on his channel because he's got 600,000 subscribers, and that's why there's a second channel, the vlog channel, because he's always been conflicted and open about it on his channel of, I'm making this stuff now. Look, this video blew up like crazy. Here's a vlog that didn't do well, but I really love making the vlog. But I like, just because you have the 600,000 subscriber channel doesn't mean whatever you will do. I think there are people that there are a select few channels, a very select few. It's almost like looking at, like, that's why they shouldn't be the example. Like, because it's so specific where, like, I think Mr. Beast could upload, I don't know, a 6-hour video of him doing nothing, like sitting silently at the computer, replying to emails.
And make a lot of money.
With the default thumbnail and bad lighting that just says, like, replying to emails.mov. And it'll be on the trending page.
Bailey says, you're a bit louder than me, and you might be clipping.
Oh, I don't know. It's been to the end of the show now, so it is what it is. But thanks, Bailey.
Kyle is here. Someday I'll figure out. Thumbnail says kombucha. Kat says you can also hear my hair change. Love your stuff, Kat. Pulled a lot of great tips and goals off your
there
content.
You go.
Let's see.
Look
super
at
chat,
that.
Bailey. Great to catch the show
Bailey,
again.
you don't
Hope you
have to
guys
super chat.
I know have all been going well. Currently working on building a home audio recording studio. So that's a lot of effort. Great to see you guys again. Oh,
please share your studio updates.
That'd be.
I would love that.
That'd be so cool to see.
Bailey is like full on pro now.
Carl is old school. As soon as I saw that title, I'll pull it up to watch after the stream ends. I think that was the Epos Vox one.
Oh yeah. It's a good one. It's like sad.
Epos Vox point that I took from his video is how much we have to do to get around the shorts push that long form content doesn't get noticed anymore.
I notice Mike's comments on so many videos that I watch. We watch like the exact same videos.
Sadly, that's the minority. Most want Michael Bay level videos, but we have our circles.
Explosions everywhere.
Mark
There's
is awesome.
Mark.
Let's see. 24 total videos.
Oh, that was Mooncat.
Mooncat.
Yeah.
Remember to hit the like button. Looking so forward to failing. Well, there
it's
we
the only
go.
way to get better. Whew, this ended up being an extendo edition.
Extendo. Well, so what's our conclusion here? So, yeah, what's our conclusion?
There is no conclusion. Which is
how are we ending this show?
The whole point. When you wanted to make your video and you were like, okay, what's this? What's the next step? The thing I kept saying is like, there is no end point. It's just having a conversation and like continuing a conversation, opening a dialogue, and that's the point. And we've been talking about like these creators. So I want to show this is what I think. I think some would fit. We could spend all day everybody sharing examples that would probably fit, which is I think super encouraging because there's so many and so many different niches.
Yeah.
But again, like the Epos Vox thing showed, you can still feel like you don't fit.
Yeah. Maybe it is like taking the definition of a successful YouTube creator when it was still broadcast yourself and bringing them together. Because now that's not it. Like if you were...
Yeah, that's not their slogan anymore. They changed it.
Well, it's not even the slogan, but that's not... I don't
the purpose.
Well, I don't think that if you thought about what is a successful YouTuber, like what do they look like? How do they operate now? It wouldn't be that. It would be different.
I wish I was using the Earthworks ethos because I would say it's the ethos behind that slogan.
Yeah, maybe it's that.
I like it.
Anyway, can I put that on my West Tom card full on pro?
Yes, please.
Quote it.
All
right.
Time to clear the table.
Time to clear the table. Do we need to give a next step?
I don't have a next step. I'm not going to. If you have a next step, please.
Well, we're going to do something. We're going to create like a digital space. I don't know That's where we're at.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm in the conversation phase.
Just stay tuned. We're going to continue the conversation.
I think that's most helpful. That's the thing. Then the needs become apparent.
And the needs become apparent.
Thanks for watching. Hope you have a great, happy, healthy, fun rest of your day. Great weekend. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.